On March 18, 1990, in Boston, Massachusetts, a crime was about to take place that would become the single largest property theft in modern history. It would all be over in just 81 minutes. Two men, a brilliant scheme, and priceless masterpieces worth $500 million that would vanish without a trace. It was 1:20 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Two men dressed in flawless police uniforms pulled up to a side entrance of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. They knew exactly what they were doing. They buzzed the door, telling the security guard on duty that they were responding to a disturbance call. The guard, Rick Abath, looked at them through the closed-circuit camera. To him, it looked like legitimate law enforcement. He made a critical decision that would haunt him for the rest of his life. He broke protocol and let them in. The moment the door swung open, the facade shattered. One of the men approached Abath, telling him he looked familiar and that there might be a warrant out for his arrest. Abath stepped away from the security desk and away from the only panic button that could have alerted the police. Before he even knew what was happening, he was pinned against the wall and handcuffed. A second guard, Rick Heston, was subdued just as quickly. Within minutes, both men were dragged down into the museum's basement. Their hands and eyes were covered with duct tape, and they were bound to a steam pipe and a workbench. The thieves now had complete control. The museum was theirs. They moved with unnerving precision through the museum's halls. Every step they took was recorded by motion detectors, creating a trail of evidence that would puzzle investigators for decades to come. They went straight to the Dutch room on the second floor, home to some of the world's most precious paintings. They targeted Rembrandt's Christ in the Storm on the Sea of Galilee, his only known seascape, valued at roughly $140 million. They also took A Lady and Gentleman in Black, another Rembrandt masterpiece. And then there was Johannes Vermeer, Zez the Concert, one of only 34 known paintings by the old master, now considered the most valuable unrecovered painting in the entire world. The thieves didn't carefully remove these treasures. They were brutal. They ripped the paintings from the walls, smashed the glass frames, and cut the canvases right out of their gilded stretchers. Nothing was sacred. In the Blue Room, they stole Manet's Chez Tortoni. From the short gallery, they took 5 delicate drawings by Daguet and a bronze eagle finial. In total, 13 works of art were stolen. They moved deliberately, methodically. But there was one painting they surprisingly left behind, a large self-portrait by Rembrandt. Why? It was painted on wood, not canvas. It was too heavy, too bulky. They couldn't risk it. Before they left, the thieves did something chilling. They went back down to the basement to check on the guards. They even asked them if they were comfortable. Then, at 2:45 a.m., exactly 81 minutes after they first arrived, they walked out with $500 million in masterpieces. They made 2 trips to their vehicle, and then they vanished into the night. When Boston police finally arrived at 8:15 that morning, they found the guards still bound in the basement and the museum in complete chaos. The FBI moved in immediately. This was no ordinary crime. It was the largest art heist in history. The evidence was puzzling. Infrared motion detectors had recorded the thieves' every movement, and security cameras had captured their arrival. But there was a problem. Someone had stolen the videotapes from the security office. Someone had taken the motion detector data printouts. Someone with inside knowledge had known exactly what evidence to destroy. The FBI quickly developed a theory. This wasn't just a robbery. This was an inside job. And security guard Rick Abath became the primary suspect. Decades of investigation have pointed to a complicated web of Boston mobsters and career criminals. The FBI now theorizes that the heist was orchestrated by a local criminal gang. One name that came up was gangster Bobby Donati, who mysteriously died just 1 year after the robbery. Associates of another organized crime boss, Carmelo Merlino, including men named George Reisfelder and Leonard DiMuzio, were also suspects. Then there was David Turner, who served 21 years in prison on other charges. The FBI even offered him leniency if he would just return the paintings. He refused, always maintaining his innocence. Another career criminal, Jimmy Marks, was shot twice in the back of the head in a classic mob-style execution just 11 months after the heist. Days before his death, Marks had been heard bragging that he had 2 of the stolen paintings. Was his murder connected? Did he die protecting the secret of the Gardner heist? Over the years, mysterious figures have emerged from the shadows, claiming they knew where the paintings were. A man named William Youngworth was one of them. He contacted a Boston Herald reporter, Tom Mashberg, with an incredible offer. He would show him one of the stolen Rembrandts. One night, Youngworth drove Mashberg to a warehouse in Brooklyn. He led him to a storage unit, pulled out a cylinder tube, and unfurled a painting under a flashlight. Was it the real thing? It was never confirmed. Youngworth demanded concessions in exchange for the paintings, the reward money, immunity from prosecution, and the release of his imprisoned friend. The FBI asked for proof. He provided paint chips, claiming they came from the storm on the Sea of Galilee, but they didn't. They came from a different painting entirely. The deal collapsed, and the paintings remained missing. The FBI believes the stolen artwork was moved through organized crime circles and eventually made its way to Philadelphia, where the trail went completely cold around 2003. For over 3 decades, these priceless works of art have existed in a shadow world owned by criminals, hidden from public view, their ultimate fate unknown. Were they destroyed in a panic? Are they locked away in some private collector's vault, hidden from the world forever? The empty frames still hang on the museum walls today, ghostly reminders of what was lost. The museum has offered a $10 million reward, the largest bounty ever offered by a private institution for the recovery of the stolen art. But so far, no one has ever claimed it. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist remains completely unsolved. Not a single arrest has ever been made. Not a single painting has ever been recovered. The suspects have died. Witnesses have disappeared. Leads have evaporated into thin air. The concert by Vermeer, one of the most valuable and irreplaceable works of art in human history, sits somewhere in the criminal underworld. Possibly damaged, possibly destroyed, its location known only to people who will never reveal it. The thieves were professionals. They knew the museum's layout. They knew the security protocols. They knew which guards would be on duty. They knew exactly what to steal and what to leave behind. And 3 decades later, we are no closer to the truth. The Gardner Museum heist stands as a monument to a crime so perfect, so audacious, and so complete that it may never be solved. Somewhere out there, worth $500 million, hang masterpieces that the world may never see again. And 2 men, or the ghosts of their memory, got away with the perfect heist. The biggest art theft in modern history. Still unsolved. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. See you next time.